Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Billy's our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billy's here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till time? Call in, it's a show. It no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Billy's our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billy's here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Another day is here. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billy's. Wake up, Billy's. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show here on XTV at 3304 Amandala Drive, sweet Southside Belize City. I'm Sister YaYa Marin Coleman sitting in for Brother Noor Mohammed this morning and give thanks. We wake up with a move the day after one holiday. Make we do this. You know the usual lineup for WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show here on XTV, simulcasting on Creme Radio, live streaming at YouTube XTV Belize and Facebook XTV Belize. And so first we have the weather forecast from the National Meteorological Service of Belize, and the forecaster this morning is Francisca Wellington. And then we go into our first news brief prepared for us by XTV Newsroom under the directorship of our sister, dynamic Belizean journalist, Sister Maricela Maya.
And partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated, but slightly more will develop over central areas this morning and over inland areas this afternoon. In the outlook for Friday and Friday night, little or no rain will develop. Winds today will blow from the east and northeast at 5 to 15 knots and seas will be choppy. Low tides will occur at 6:13 this morning and 5:36 this evening. High tides follow at 12:05 this afternoon and 11:39 tonight. Temperatures this afternoon will peak at 72 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 82 along the coast and 87 inland. The moon will set at 8:33 this morning and the sun will set at 5:38 this evening. In the sargassum forecast, latest satellite images suggest that there is a slight increase in sargassum over the area. However, chances of sargassum affecting beaches and any potential impacts remain low. And that's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, current information, local, regional and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Have already made all disbursements to teachers whose allowances and salaries were delayed back in December. Minister of Education Francis Fonseca said the great majority of cases would have been resolved. The Belize National Teachers Union had threatened to demonstrate this month if payments were not made by the end of December.
I think there may be a few individual cases outstanding, but I think for the most part, based on our reports that we have received back from the managing authorities, we feel that over 95% of these issues have been resolved, and we have engaged with the BNTU, of course, since the start of the year, and we are working on any specific individual cases that they bring to our attention. As soon as we find out about them, we try to resolve them. I feel good about where we are, and we're planning another meeting. I think we're scheduling it for the 23rd of this month, January, where it's called a stakeholder meeting, an all-day meeting where we will have the Ministry of Education, we have BNTU, the managing authorities. We'll also bring in the Treasury Department, the Accountant General, Social Security, where we will have an all-day sit-down to discuss any outstanding issues and address any concerns moving forward.
So you've already communicated with the BNTU, so there shouldn't be any demonstration anymore?
Well, I can't speak for the BNTU. They act on the instructions of their membership. We believe that we have acted in good faith, that we have done everything to respond in a positive, respectful way to all of their concerns. We believe that the process we put in place addresses all of the outstanding issues, and we have put in place, as I said, a mechanism for dealing with all future issues so that we communicate respectfully, that we have open dialogue. And I think the membership of the BNTU understands that, they appreciate it, they respect that we are acting in good faith. And so, I hope that there's a common understanding moving forward.
On a different note,
So the archaic system that is being digitized but which has had hiccups, Minister Fonseca says he is hopeful that by the start of the new school year in September, the payment issues should have been resolved.
More than a year. The difficulty is digitization of all of these records and data and material. So, with any system that you're putting together, the input is critically important. So, getting the correct data, has been a very, very challenging process. But we're well underway with that process. So, we're absolutely satisfied and confident that, going into the new school year this year, in September of this year, that we will have all of these issues resolved, so that moving forward, not just we're doing this, of course, for our teachers now, but what we want to put in place is a system that will benefit everybody moving forward. So this will not be a problem for any future Ministry of Education, for any future teachers. So we're very confident about that. A lot of work has been done. A lot of data remains to be inputted, and we're working with everybody. That's why I said we're going to have this stakeholder meeting on the 23rd, where we're bringing everybody together, and we're going to have those meetings on a regular basis until we finally resolve this matter.
Earlier this week, we reported on the immigration delay faced Monday by Guatemalan students who come over from Melchor to study in Benque and San Ignacio. The indication was that the delays were due to immigration officials having to process an increasing number of students. We asked the Minister of Education about it yesterday.
More, I think there have been a couple bottlenecks recently, but there's always been a steady flow of Guatemalan students who come into our education system mainly to learn English. And we have always, as a matter of policy for the government of Belize, regardless of which administration, we've always welcomed them and we've treated them with dignity and respect. So, you know, anytime these issues arise, yes, we try to address them. We engage with the immigration authorities to try to work out whatever bottlenecks exist. So yes, we are engaged on that issue, and whatever issues have arisen, we're trying to address them.
People have looked at this and said, well, are they getting free education and benefiting from Belizean taxpayers' dollars?
No, I mean, I think, you know, again, Belize has a long-standing policy of engaging with our neighbors. We have been a welcoming society. As you all know, we welcome citizens from all over Central America to our country. So, you know, in terms of the Guatemalans, you know, the primary schools, as you know, they're very, very minimal fees. They pay those fees when they have to go to school. For the most part, primary education in Belize is free. So, you know, that policy remains in place, and we welcome. These are young students, young people who want to learn English and participate in the education system in Belize, and we don't want to deny any young person an opportunity to an education.
Over the weekend, a tour guide started a conversation on social media about the deplorable condition of some archaeological reserves in light of the recent increase in fees. He noted that some sites don't have proper guardrails and also shared that it is long overdue for a permanent bridge to be constructed to replace the ferry crossing to San Antonich. Minister Francis Fonseca, who is responsible for the Institute of Archaeology, commented on the observations.
Things I said when we took over, that we have to put niche on a sustainable financing footing. And that's what we've worked on. Those fees you're talking about came into effect January, I mean, we're January 15. So obviously, the whole idea behind that is that we will use those funds, along with our partners, including the BTB, to work on maintaining those structures, those sites, those reserves. Those are really at the center of Belize's tourism product. So we partner with BTB as well. So yes, there are lots of plans in terms of maintenance, upgrading. Yes, we've discussed the bridge. You know, there are concerns, so we have to look at it, security concerns about the bridge. So we're looking at it, and you know, something that is under discussion.
Was killed in Gales Point, Manatee Village around 7 Wednesday night. Reports are that Randy Moody was stabbed in his home by a friend. Police have detained one person. And that brings us to the end of this morning's news brief. And immediately after Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes at 9 o'clock, you could tune in to Creme Radio and XTV for the morning stew, where you can get additional news and commentary from the three hosts and when people call in. And then on Creme Radio, you could listen to a full news package at 12:30, a news brief at 3:15, and a full news package at 5:15. And here at XTV, you could listen to a full news package at 6 o'clock. Remember, you could go to XTV Belize on YouTube, XTV Belize on Facebook, or you could also download the XTV and the Creme Radio app, so you could link anywhere they want to have internet access. We're going to take one quick break, come back, open up the phone lines, and we are reason.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
When you bank your way, it's amazing.
welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Thursday, January 16th, 2025. The me and you time. The phone number is 280-5848. 280-5848. Call and reason with we. I have one guest scheduled at around 7:30-ish. So after we take the break around 7:30, and we have 2 cents come of a young, amazing Belizean youth. Excited for giving the space for share what he is passionate about and where he have lived experience in. So no calling. And then a number of things I need to go over. First, I have to keep saying this number. It's 607-4686. That's the number you call if you suspect price gouging. 607-4686. So you could put it in your cell phone. We as Belizean people, whether the consumers, have one duty to ourselves, first and foremost, for whole grocers accountable who they chance with. And so that we could take ownership of it, I keep giving out the number so that you could put it in your phone, and when you suspect price gouging, you call a number. I don't know if it's on WhatsApp number. I'll have to check and see if it's on WhatsApp number, but that's the number that was given out, the 607-4686. So that's the one thing. The next thing is that this Saturday morning from 10 to 11, YUB Educational Foundation, the Fourth Pillar of Zinc Fence, I'm the chairperson, and Belize Federation of Fishers. They represent over, I think, 3,000 fishers in the country. They have a first, we intend to have it every month, Belize Blue Bond Awareness Conversation. Belize Blue Bond Awareness Conversation. Or no March the budget time. And one of we weakness as a population is that enough of we not have the knowledge when it comes to things that impact for we life. And the more knowledgeable your population is, the greater the chance that there'll be more meaningful and active engagement with people who we vote for, people who work and manage the natural resources of Belize for we. Indeed, we the Belizean people that the employers of everybody in our government services. We that employers. Kind of we tax money paying, and you could get tax money from, when I say the price control list shot, compared to all the other things when I sell, for example, at grocery stores, the price control list shot. So every time we go to shop, we pay tax. And it could be grocery store, it could be hardware store, it could be dry goods, it could be clothes, shoes, one safety pin, one pot, car parts, purchasing gas, purchasing kerosene, you buy one candle. Our tax money go towards the big purse for how this country get managed. And then they have other things, you know, if they send a barrel or one box, you have to pay for that. If you're bringing in one vehicle, you have to pay for that. So there are other ways that the state collect money to manage this country. So traditionally, there's been no transparency and accountability with the public purse. That's why you have the Auditor General's office, and that's why you have one committee at the House of Representatives called the Joint Public Accounts Committee. That was supposed to happen, but it has never worked since 1981. It has never worked. For me, there was indication that this Westminster system what we use, never designed for we and work for we. And then we need to stop saying that this is our democratic country, because we need to live that. That are just talking. We need to live one democratic process. There's no way for Belizean people have meaningful input or engagement in the matters what concern we. We have one immediate impact on for we lives, our unborn children's lives, and our ancestresses and ancestors' lives before us. And UEF has been consistent in creating spaces for we have conversations so we could be more knowledgeable and our space where we learn from one another. So the way these Saturday mornings meeting UEF and BFF, Belize Blueband Awareness campaign will work is that from 10 to 11 we'll have one guest. And so the guest Saturday morning will be Nigel Martinez, who is the director of the Belize Federation of Fishers. And then from 10:30 to 11, everybody else with up on the Zoom could join in at the conversation. It will be broadcasted on XTV on your local channel. It'll be live stream on YouTube, XTV Belize, and on Facebook, XTV Belize. Now, some people that say, YaYa, well, I don't want to talk about the blue bond. People then done sign the thing already. The house done out at the stable. It done. And my position is, no. We need to learn what happened because we to pay it back. We want consistently pay it back. At minimum, we need to know how the public works get managed. So I hope, sir, I tell Brother Nigel for calling this morning, for me to try and reason and leave it, and just to get people interested in the conversation on Saturday morning from 10 to 11. UEF has been leading the awareness campaign for the Blue Band at least since 2022. And so we've had guests on Sunday Review talking about the Blue Band. I would call in on WB and talk about the Blue Band. People would get news about the Blue Band from various news sources in Belize, or the government of Belize would put out a press release, and that as much as we know about the Blue Band. But I find that there's still questions. And this should have happened. This should have been a way of life for we. That the state caller, good morning. Thanks for calling me. Talk to me.
Hi, good morning, YaYa.
Morning.
It's been a while, but
Hey!
I'm listening to your topic, and I decided I wanted to share my thoughts for a couple minutes. And much of what you're saying centered around how we should hold our government or people in power responsible for the way they spend, manage or mismanage our finances. But going back to original point about taxes and price gouging and these things, YaYa, it's something I've shared some years ago and I stick with it. I think we have a culture of chance takers. Some years ago I talked about our fisher folks who every Easter time raise the price. And then every year the media would go and interview them and they have these cynical, silly comments about, oh, maybe the fish ain't got scarce for Easter. And as a society, we accept it. Now we have reached a point during the pandemic, and even after many changes have been made and the prices of gas went down from $18 a gallon down to $14, they can't choose any of those things as justification for why the prices of goods are so significantly high. And I'm talking specifically about our farming community. A month ago, banana was $6 for $1. A year ago, it was $8. 2 years ago, it was $10. This week, since last week, bananas are $5 for $1. 2.5 years ago, oranges were 10 oranges for $1. A year and a half ago, it was 8. Now it's 3 oranges for $1. And I can go on and on and on. The price gouging is not just in our supermarkets and in our store. It is on every street corner. It's in the panada shop where it's 2 panadas for $1 now. Everybody is taking advantage of the spending public. And so my thing is, it's not so much we should hold our authorities, our government, responsible like the Blue Bond you're talking about and how they are spending our money. We should hold ourselves responsible. What are we doing about the daily chance taking of our finances? Every day, every corner, every turn. Now the fishermen have what they call their fisherman Christmas. You know, it's become a part of our culture. It's fisherman Christmas Easter, where we accept taking the shaft from the fisher folks. But now the farming community is giving us their Christmas all year long. And what have we been doing as a community, as a society about it? So respectfully understand why it is definitely important for us to look at, for example, the Blue Bond collective and how it will be managed and all of that good thing. But how about what are we doing at our level, our family level, our household level, our own pocket and wallet level? What are we doing?
I appreciate the call, brother, and your comments are 100% valid. Before we could hold anybody accountable, we have to hold ourselves accountable. So you have any solutions on how we could do that?
Well, my solution is not communal or even for the society. It's in my household. And so I'm intentional with where I buy, how often I spend, and how much I negotiate in terms of the prices. You know, sometimes when you talk to certain vendors, in fact, even going out earlier in to the market when the wholesalers come in and get from them. And even that I realize is an issue, because not so many of them will insist that, well, what they bring is for the market. You know, they don't really want to sell you, and if they sell you, they want to sell you at market price, and a couple of them will explain because that is what the vendors that buy from them regularly selling it at. So they don't want to disrupt their sales. You know, so it's a very challenging economic reality that we're dealing with right now. You know, like even the wholesalers are trying to ensure that they get the most out of you.
I hear people call WB more than once, and they're like one market cartel. They're like, all goods have the same price. You know, there's good a market, let's say in the 70s, and you could barter, you could negotiate, but they're like flat price for everything. And then I never think about it, and even though for the first time, I think 3 weeks ago, for the first time, to my knowledge, I walked the market and I walked straight back out, just pissed. At the price, I think they tell me garlic, that like $10 a pound.
Yes.
And then they tell me grapes, that's $16 and $14, depending on if they're green, black, or red. I just walk straight back out.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And my thing is, who, in terms of authorities, price control, etc., is doing anything of meaningful, to protect the consumer against this, because clearly it's advantageous. You know, I have banana trees in my yard that I'm growing. It is not a whole lot demanded for you to maintain a banana tree. I pass orange orchards regularly when I go on tour through the Hopchon Road down south. How often do they go? In fact, even the mango in mango season, mango was $2 for one mango. But then when you talk to the mango farmers, even for the big black mangoes through Hope Creek and those areas, they will tell you it is like once a year they go, and the most they have to do is smoke their trees so it don't pick up flies and disease, etc. So why things have become so increasingly expensive, not even 100%, like 200 and 300% in terms of profit?
Well, one of the things they want to tell you is that the cost of living gone up. Fuel prices gone up. So I would have really want to overstand.
Yeah, but that is why I went to that original. When the pandemic hit and fuel prices, and I use fuel regularly, I have to follow up for my tour ride. It jumped at 17 and 18.24 a gallon. And then it went down to 6 and it started streamlining. So the fuel price is now down at $14 a gallon, at least for premium that I put in my vehicles. So it had gone down almost $5. But the prices have not gone back along with the fuel prices. They have continued to go up.
But they also tell you
have not gone back to their original state. At least half they have gone down.
Well,
like
fuel
I said, the banana in the pandemic was 10 for $1. Then it went to 8. Then it went to 6 just a month and a half ago. Now it's at 5. But the prices have not gone up.
Okay,
Fertilizer have not gone up, because even if you check personally, you will realize that the embargoes and the stresses on the economies of trade with the Ukraine, the war with Ukraine and Russia, has seen some relief.
Okay, so fuel would have been one of the expenses, right? So so that's the one thing that we need to understand. What it costs for be one farmer or one middle person. Fuel would be one of the top items. They might tell you say pesticide gone up. They might tell us that they had diseases. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want somebody broke it down.
Pesticide prices have gone back. If you check on the NASDAQ, etc., prices have dropped. That is what
So
I'm
you're
saying.
saying
You can do your personal price. So what could they use to justify? Fuel has gone down. Pesticide access is down. Grain is no flowing except if there's some issue with the new president coming in on the Panamanian Canal. Everything has seen a release. So why have the prices gone up and why are we getting less for more?
So that the same entity responsible for the price control. I don't think vegetables got price control.
And that's part of the problem. That right there is part of the problem.
I agree, more things need to depend on price control, but then again, that comes to the public for creating awareness, for have the knowledge, for agitate for more things upon the price control. And I think very few people actually work with a market because you need the thing there, and that's what in the bank pan you need it. So, or maybe some people stop by as much because during the pandemic, a number of people start to grow their own thing home.
And that is the angle that I have taken. What is not being grown in the side of my yard is being put down at ground out at the small acres of farm. And I think many people have to go back to that, where in the 80s, for example, right through Water Lane in my granny yard, we had geese and turkey, chicken, we had beans that grow side of the house, everybody made drink coconut water, plum tree. We have to go back to that. So people understand that 3 orange for $1 and 5 banana for $1.
And then you notice the brother, like the fruit, they not taste like how they does taste.
No, they don't. Anyway, my sister.
Well, thanks for the call, brother. Thanks for the call. Appreciate the reasoning. One love. Oh my goodness. So that's why I like calling a Colleen, because I like learn from other people. The more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know. So I really appreciate the call. Even though I had that experience the market about 3 weeks ago, I never remember about their market price, but their market price, the lick, for real, for real. I would appreciate if a farmer would have called in a reason to why would they have them kind of mark up on the bread. I've gone through the different prices of like banana, orange, Italian garlic. Morning, the sound of this phone ringing is music to my ears. Morning, thanks for call.
Good morning, YaYa. This is Sandra Curry. You ran an article, you read the news, in the news there was an article about the children who come from Guatemala to study in Belize, right?
Yes, Sister Sandra.
Years ago, about more than some 50 years ago, Canada had an extremely cheap university tuition. But it wasn't known then that it was because the government was subsidizing everybody. Canadians and foreigners were subsidized. Also bear in mind at that time, thousands, tens of thousands of Americans crossed the border and either began or completed their education in Canada because of they were evading the draft to the Vietnam War. So an arts degree was $636 and a science undergraduate degree was $100 more, 736 Canadian. I can't remember the exact year it changed, but I remember that I was recommending somebody to go there, but you didn't have internet in those days, so you had to wait until you got the catalog from the university to know the cost. And you just couldn't call and say, well, what's your tuition? Because you'd be from phone to phone and people didn't have the money to make that kind of call. So eventually the Canadian government stopped that, so that they subsidized Canadians and residents but foreigners have to pay an increased cost. Evidently, you don't pay the real cost, but you pay a cost that covers what the government would have been subsidizing for you, the individual.
I think it's called in-state and out-of-state fees.
Pardon?
At least for some years, I worked in the financial aid office at 2 universities in the United States, private and public, and they were called in-state and out-of-state fees. So the people who...
Well, that is in the U.S.
Right.
I've never had that terminology. You're dealing with foreigners, people who are not Canadian at all, who come into the country to study, right? Because out-of-state in the United States could mean another state.
Right.
Isn't that what it can mean, right?
Right.
Anyway, now in Belize, we have children who can't read and write, who come out of primary school non-functional. We have people who haven't even gone to primary school or who have only done a small portion of their primary school education, can't read and write, are functionally illiterate. Then we have schools that are in a dilapidated condition. When you challenge that, you're told the church is responsible for that. But everybody knows the church management don't have the money, so apparently the children are supposed to sit through their entire academic life in the primary system in absolutely dilapidated conditions in many cases. We have had cases down in Punta Gorda, remote schools that are totally unprovided for. Not until the thing becomes a public shame in the media is some little gesture done to sort of halfway correct it, quarterly correct it. But none of them are completely corrected, YaYa, none of them. So here we are now. Then we have to go begging. We got some money the other day from the Central American Bank there to give free education to some of our children. That's at secondary level. Man, we just don't have education properly organized in this country. And the first thing you have to do is organize it financially. And while you're seeking to take care of native Belizeans and migrant Belizean children, how in heaven's name, YaYa, we are going to add the children of the neighboring countries to our bill? Please tell me. How are you going to do that? And explain to us that we have to educate children, but you're not educating Belizean children, man.
And not that just said that, Sister Sandra, when they had the amnesty, not that just said that, when they had the amnesty, one of the reasons why they didn't give the amnesty, that because there was a strain on the social services for people who were undocumented. So their children coming in and out.
This is the problem, YaYa. We make, now, let's take in the matter of computing, which is one of my beefs, as they call it. There are children in the primary school system who, when they reach high school, have had absolutely no exposure to computers. If their family owns a phone, that is their only exposure. But they haven't learned structured, formal IT education and information technology education in the classroom. No computers, no lab, no nothing. I had called about that because one morning you were brought in the children from Belize High School, and so I called in and double-checked what I already knew. But I double-checked it with the teacher and everybody. These children arrived at high school with a foundation in IT at solid, yes. They arrived at high school with a solid mathematics foundation, yes. So those children are able to shine. They are able to cope with that kind of program. But that should not be only for those children, YaYa. That should be for every child in this country.
I agree, and I don't know if the curriculum that still for teach children how to write letters as opposed to how to send one email.
I didn't get anything you said just now, what?
I said, I don't know if they're still teaching children in schools how to write letters instead of how to send emails.
Well, writing letters is not a problem with me, YaYa. Because remember, if we are to hold our own as human beings, in the computerized environment, we need two skills, if nothing else. The ability to think critically and the ability to evaluate the information that is being fed to you over the computer, and more so when we move into AI.
But Sister Sandra,
the human brain is structured for language and mathematics. We have mathematics center and we have a language center. And we also have the ability to do deal with space and all of that and time. But we actually have portions of the brain dedicated to mathematics and language.
the two skills that you mentioned would be skills that, the two skills that you mentioned are a part of literacy. But in Belize, literacy is considered just reading. Those two
skills go beyond literacy, because to evaluate, you need to be able to know if the material. We will be fed information. Let me sidetrack a bit. The President of the United States gave his farewell speech last night. In his farewell speech, he commented on the attack on humanity being carried out with false, wrong, flawed, disinformation, misinformation, all of that. He pointed out that they're no longer going to fact check information in the platform world out there. All of that. But while I agree with him, what about the wrong information he was giving out, and that the American government he represents is giving out about the situation in Palestine? It's making us all want around the world to believe that the problem in Palestine is Hamas, and it started on October the 7th, and that Hamas appeared out of nowhere as a lunatic, vicious, terrorizing mentality. No, but if you don't know the history, then how are you going to evaluate what they have told you? You won't know if they're telling you the truth or not the truth. So it goes beyond literacy, YaYa, yes, and you have to be able to be literate to read the evaluation material. You have to be literate in order to think critically. You have to think critically, because you can't, the memory of the illiterate person is limited, extremely limited. I came on that many years ago quite by accident and realized, my God, this is a serious problem. But here we have a society that needs to be properly educated. Education is costly. So what about calculating how much it is costing you to educate each Belizean child and tell us? What about asking the private elementary schools, what is it costing to educate each of your children, and compare it? Then maybe we need to fight to get the amount they are spending per child for the public education system in order to get the quality. But how are we going to do that? This is my confusion. How are we going to do all of that, YaYa, if we have decided we are going to take responsibility for educating the children of the neighboring countries? How are we going to do that, hon? And you hear this kind of irrationality unendingly. We need our own people educated. You all the political directorate decided that we need cheap slave labor coming in as labor. You decided that. So we have those children to educate. We have the born villagers. We have a lot of them now born in village. We have all our children to educate. But we know we're going to take responsibility for educating everybody around and about us. And not ourselves, we are not being educated. This is not a quarrel with those children coming across the border. But there comes a time in the life of a nation and a people when you have, and a family and an individual, when you have to evaluate, can I afford to go to Fort George to eat, or I have to, the only money I have is to eat around the corner at the shady for $2 a plate. I have to make up my mind, man. We can't as a people, stepping along. Isn't that what we're doing, YaYa?
Yes, Sister Sandra.
What you saying, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yes, natural environment. All of these things have a cost. That's why those children who go to Belize Elementary can come out because they pay a rate that reflects the real cost. But if we are going to have a free public school system, somebody has to pick up the tab. So it is the government. Because the church doesn't seem to be able to pick up anything at all. So if you're going to pick it up, then I am trying to figure out how you're going to do that if you're always looking for somewhere to spend your money on and not on the thing you're supposed to be spending your money on.
And constantly they beg.
What they said, huh?
And constantly they beg and borrow. Constantly they beg and borrow.
Exactly, YaYa. And when we beg, there's a quid pro quo. You will beg, but you have to pay me back. You don't get anything for free in that world out there. Nothing for free. So it's really, and you're begging and borrowing for our children. And so, listen to me. I am 76. I'm quite well educated. But I want to know that when I leave a generation. I have no children of my own, but the children out there are my children. They are our children. So when you close your eyes and go into that ground as Lord, which are already going to be buried, baby might be buried to death. You want to know you leave your children properly prepared for a frightening world that they are walking into. They are walking into an alarming world. And our children are not prepared for that world. I would say not even 25% prepared, much less 50 or 75 or 100%. Not even that. So how are you going to do that without money? And which money is the best money to start with? Not your own money. But if we are going to make these kinds of decisions, then we're going to bring in cheap labor and then sell the thing by them to bring in abroad for maybe 10 cents. So now me end up having to fund the health cost of that labor. Man, the whole thing is a mess.
So how do you suggest, how will we turn this around? Because we keep having these robust and meaningful conversations, but they want with the parliamentary, with the Westminster system, they just do what they want. Then just keep doing what I want.
Yeah, the people of this country don't seem to understand. I don't consider it a waste of time on my part. Mm-hmm. Because as I tell you, I don't need the education, but the children need it. Mm-hmm. I deal with children all the time who are lamentably incompetent. Right. Like all children, they have their high levels of dopamine, they can learn. But if the environment around them isn't promoting it, how in heaven's name they're going to learn, YaYa?
True.
How?
True.
And once they're going to be able not to learn, if there's no money there to provide it, what do? Our government depend on the teachers to go into their salary to buy the resources for the government classroom. You ever hear anything like that?
And as you tell us, Sister Sandra, it's systemic throughout the Caribbean.
Exactly, but I'm somebody, I don't waste time on what they're doing anywhere else, you know. I want my own situation straightened out. We in the Caribbean are in a mess precisely because of this. But I want Belize straightened out because Belize is in a more dangerous position than any other Caribbean country, given the claims from across the border on us, which seems to be facilitated by our political directorate of all parties, the whole pack of them, the three parties in government. That is what they are. So we are in a more dire situation to get our house in order than any other Caribbean country. They are in a situation too. But I can't worry about them. I am on the mainland next to a country claiming me.
We have another 2 minutes and then we'll have to go to break, Sister Sandra.
I'm finished already, honey. When I listened to that news, I thought, no, here goes again. And the media, well, are you all going to take it up? Are you all going to pressure and beg and harass and call out for them to give you a costing can go out and compare what it costs to educate in the private school. That's what is needed.
Well, Sister Sandra, I think most are shared more than once. Indeed, deep dive investigative pieces are what is needed. But to have them thing, you have to have the resources. And Zinc Fence, for the most part, not have the resource. And that's just real. Now, there are other media houses that have the resources. And like when we had the fishing and journalism, that because they get funding from outside source. So you had like Marisol, Marco Lopez, other journalists.
I know what you're saying, darling, but just the same way in every other business, that sometimes you have to decide if it is going to be a war to get the society you want that will give you the kind of money that you want to earn. This society can't give you the kind of money you want to earn. It can't give it to you, and it won't not be able to give it to you when oranges and bananas are 5 for $1 and 2 bananas for $1, all of that you were just talking about. It won't not give it to you. And your people can't defend themselves and join in the fight. That's the problem. But you want them to be able to join in the fight. You want to prepare them and inform them and have them knowledgeable to join in the fight. Do you think they are completely able to join in the fight right now, YaYa?
No, Sister Sandra.
No, darling, they can't. So anyway, hon, I just asking, I don't think the media have to do it, I'm just putting it out there. That we know how the children prepare for the world that is confronting all of us, and confront all of us. If I live for the next 5 years, I will be living to an AI world. You too.
We're done to live through it.
What about?
We're done to live through it.
Exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye, sis. Thanks for calling. It's break time. We're going to 2 Cents Camp, sponsored by Fort Point Security.
What are your 2 cents there? On the price there? On the thing what is selling in the shop?
Okay. It kind of high because I sell brother bun. Every week for make I survive. So it kind of high. So it kind of punish me for make I could feed my family. But I still fight it though.
And that are your 2 cents?
That's my 2 cents for the morning.
All right. What are your 2 cents on the price on goods in the shop? How you feel about it?
I think the merchants and just to rip off the poor people in from more than where they could. Because I'm certain that then things the government could just drop the taxes on some of these things when they import. But people need for use in their family. It's ridiculous.
And that your 2 cents?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Man, sir. What are your 2 cents on the price there?
Well, I've left. I'm not Belizean, right? But I did in Belize 13 years before I left, and I just got back since 7 years ago. And man, it's not nice. Prices are not what you're expecting to be, and it's not cool, man. I don't know what the government is doing, good or bad, but they should think about the public, man. We're really suffering. Guys, come on. You gotta help us, man. You gotta help us. They gotta do something for us. Because they're getting rich. Look at what we're doing, man. Look at us.
Thank you, sir. What are your 2 cents on the things in the shop? The prices on the things. What are your 2 cents?
Well, my 2 cents is the place bad, man. The place bad, everything skyrocket, everything they up there. Right now, the leap paycheck, they try balance and try schedule everything for try get everything going for the kids. Everything just ridiculous in this place, man. This place is bad, this place is, I don't know when you get better, when you get worse, but this the real worse right now.
That there too, sir?
Yes, man. It's not nice.
All right, big up yourself, brother. What are your 2 cents on the prices?
Well, my 2 cents on the prices is that both shops sell different prices, and then they're so close. You understand? So the consumer always feel because this one got a price, that one got a price. So if they're not the government, the who?
That your 2 cents, pa?
My 2 cents.
All right.
Prices are high. The money is small and go in there like buy 3 things out of $50 they dead, or 2 things you dead. So the price really the kilo right now.
That your 2 cents?
Yes,
to go to some stores is ridiculous. The money that you have, you can't even stretch for tomorrow, my brother. It's rough. You gotta work hard for $1, man. the people got to come in and check the prices and see what's going on, you know?
That your 2 cents.
Respect, bro.
All right. What are your 2 cents?
I 2 cents. Watch your boss. Point on this camera really quick. Before I used to coin so I spend only $175 right now. Everything gone through the roof, boss. Right there, so they say I had to spend $400 thanks to the Almighty Father, because I know I said they politicians, right? All of them corrupted. Blue and red, I don't care about them, right? But listen to me, boss, I still got to give my family, you know, but I don't think only about me, you know, I think about this, like, with the police outside, right? And then, man, come on, man, you know. A lot of them can't even do this way they do, man, but I thank the Almighty Father, you know, but man, they have
that
to...
your 2 cents?
Yeah, this is my 2, that 5 cents.
With the prices, with the goods in the shop,
You know,
like
shop.
any shop,
Well,
you
it
have
all
to with
depends.
prices. What are your 2 cents on that?
My 2 cents on that is when the things we need, they'll find a way to give it to you at a certain price. And when the things we that know where I call one regular commodity and be cheap. So, you know, it's the how you take it, man. You know?
That your 2 cents?
Yeah, that my 2 cents. We got to live on. So by sometimes we're not satisfied, but we still got to comply.
All right, sir. What are your 2 cents on the prices, on the goods in the shop and the prices? How you feel about it?
Well, I believe on the mahogany, mainly some of the shops are reasonable. However, you have some money we add under the extra 10, say, extra 50, say. And you really see it because also in the stores, they think they're old. So you know, see people really go to the one there where have the reasonable price there, because they're really over all the items in the shop. You see the difference.
That your 2 cents. What are your 2 cents? All right? On the prices there, on the goods in a shop. How you feel about it?
Well, on the prices there, that the stores are very, very, very expensive. And that's why we as business owners, we take a licking right now, because we pay high, and then when we raise the price on the food, they don't want to buy.
Okay.
So we have to find a way how to balance up for satisfy with customers too.
That your 2 cents?
That's my 2 cents for today.
All right.
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Sincere apologies for the lengthy break. Life be lifing sometimes. Anyways, we guess there. I am so absolutely proud to welcome my nephew, Khalid Usher. Good morning, Khalid. Morning. Me. Wait, make I take this call. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, sis.
Hi, morning, but I the guest to come on right now, so I have to ask him to call back after he finish.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thanks. I won't be able to take any calls right now. We have a guest. Good morning, Khalid. I'm not hearing Khalid. Okay, so we're waiting for our guest. He's a young Belizean. Khalid Usher is his name. That's my nephew, and the child of Karen and Miguel Usher, and the sibling of Jamila Usher. Proud of Khalid. Some people might recognize Khalid because he's a powerlifter and he's traveled and represented Belize. But in that capacity today, I had wait for you to come on so I could bring in Fana, which is why. Caller, thanks for calling.
Good morning, yeah.
Yes, I have a guest. I'm just waiting to get him connected. So if you could make it brief, you could go ahead.
Sure. Following up on Ms. Coleman's call.
Yes.
They keep the students in a compound. Guatemala, according to correspondence, is 913. That is telling me that Belizean taxpayers are paying for around 36 teachers because the average classroom is about 25. So Belizean taxpayers are paying for 36 teachers for a country, students from a country that does not recognize Belize.
Thanks for the call, but that's some good numbers.
What I would do recommend is that all those passes for those children have courtesy of the government and people of Belize.
All right, brother. Thanks for the call. Okay, guidance. Khalid, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. Khalid, another sale. I want to say. That's my make a calm down because I know I get excited easily and I'm bragging about my nephew. Khalid, how are you doing? How are you, Khalid?
This morning.
Just as Khalid, for your nephew. So tell Belizeans what it is that you do for a living.
Well, I'm the wildlife officer for the Belize Zoo, and essentially my job entails working with wildlife conflict and mitigations surrounding the communities of the Maya Forest corridor. So that communities like Gales Point, going more down south, central Belize.
So what that mean, being a wildlife officer? What you do every day exactly?
Well, right now, I help manage the Sharamatola Wildlife Sanctuary, which adjacent to the zoo, and that the check to monitor the animals when they come in and out of the sanctuary because it's the Maya Forest corridor. It's basically the largest connective piece of forest north of the Amazon rainforest here in Belize. It connects Mexico to the Silva Maya. Well, it's the Silva Maya forest. So it connects Mexico and the Guatemalan forest to the Belizean forest that's like you'd say like Coxcomb, Chiquibull areas.
So if people have issue with wildlife, then I call the zoo and then you come out?
Yeah.
So what kind of wildlife you face already? How long are they in the zoo?
So I've been here for over a year already. And it's been really good.
Have you had any major confrontation with a wildlife where you had beat fast when I said the wildlife?
Well, not really, no. Not really more excitement than out of fear, anything like that. One of the more recent ones I had to deal with was the Hattieville jaguar. The capture and release of that jaguar.
Do you have special training to capture the jaguar?
Yes. We have here at the zoo Mr. Umberto Wallers. He's one of the premier trappers for the country. And so everything I've learned has been a mix between him and our director, Dr. Silsaput. He's one of the premier tapir specialists for the country. So being alongside him, I've been able to learn a lot.
And I even know they had such a profession. How you get involved for have this interest? Because I feel like they have one particular expertise, and that's why I ask about content, but we can get there. But how you develop this interest in wildlife to be able to get one position like this?
Well, I like joker and say my parents set me up because when I'm younger, the zoo hosts a conservation camp every summer, and I'm one of the youngest persons to join the camp. So I'm going to go to the camp for about 5 years. While at the camp, it's like a week long, pretty intensive. You stay overnight at the facilities they have here. And during those summers, it's really eye opening. You get to get a lot of hands on with the animals, and I just really develop a passion and love for them.
You know other people will have one similar position in the region, or maybe we had it before you and then gone on to something else. What are the future for you with one job like this?
Well, yeah, they have a lot of people in the country where do similar stuff. One of the leading NGOs is YaYa down in southern Belize, and they've been some of the first people to really deal with conflict specifically, helping out farmers, helping them to mitigate attacks from or conflicts with wildlife. And then moving forward with this, Belize is relatively pretty, I wouldn't say new, but there's a lot to be done in regards to like research and development of conservation. One of the things we're recently dealing with is the emergence of we're getting more coyote, right? More coyote than jaguar conflict in the country. And that's something that isn't really the public isn't necessarily aware that. I still get the people come and they ask you tell them about coyotes in Belize, and they're like, what? They don't know we have that. They just think we have patlika.
Now, that was when I'm going to talk to an nephew over the New Year's. I'm like, Belize have coyote? He sent a number of pictures from their camera trap. And I'm like, Belize have coyote? And so when he tells me the story about the coyote, I'm like, listen, you see how we have a brother, the manatee man? I think he could be the coyote man. So I could say why people think that patlika, because I never know Belize had coyote either. When you find out Belize had coyote?
Well, coyote, they've been here. They're native to the country, right? But they really not like dense forests. And what we realize is that because they have a lot of development, a lot of land they get cleared, it create the perfect environment for animals like the coyote for expanding the country. The first recorded coyote was captured in northern Belize in 1998. But they believe to have fossil records going way back to Maya civilization, where they find skulls and different things. Again, Belize is heavily forested. We have one of the healthiest forests in Central America. But the other countries surrounding us, they've been dealing with coyotes for a far longer in regards to conflict. They range for the coyote range from all the way from Canada all the way down to Panama.
So what the real life experience where people have with coyotes right now, and any particular part of the country that have that issue?
Right now, all over the country, right? Again, the issue with coyotes is that they are very intelligent and opportunistic species, no? Farmers have to deal with them because they do eat livestock. It's something that's very challenging for them, and because they're very intelligent animals, some farmers will tell you that a coyote, without even hearing the farmer, they'd be about 150 meters away from the coyote, and the coyote will run away. Like the coyote knows they're there, right? So they're very intelligent, they're very opportunistic, and they're very good at what they do.
Do they hunt alone or they hunt in packs?
They can hunt alone or they can hunt in packs. Again, they're very successful animals, are capable of adapting to many different environments.
So what makes the coyote intelligent? I know used to hear that animals intelligent. And that was him to give me the story. You know what? I know we start off late, but we have another break schedule right now at 8 o'clock. So I have to take one quick break, but when we come back, Khalid Usher, who is the wildlife officer at the Belize Zoo, he's also a powerlifter, want to tell you why the coyote, that one intelligent animal, and one of the headache for farmers right now throughout the country, especially because of the amount of land clearing what happened. So, on stay tuned, we'll come right back.
2 for 1. 2 for 1.
back to Wake Up Belize Morning. January 16th, 2025. I'm not taking any calls right now. We have a Belizean youth as our guest this morning, Khalid Usher, who is the wildlife officer at the Belize Zoo and a known power lifter. Khalid, yeah. See your Belize flag, you show yourself. So tell us, why is the coyote so intelligent?
Well, just based on evolution, again, it's a part of the genus for dogs, canis. Again, they're very adaptive. Uh, there's there's a lot to say that goes into them, right? Just from observations, especially observation from farmers. A lot of times, people don't really consider that the people that are on the ground that are in contact with these animals 24/7 are the ones that would have the most insight from them. And when I talk to these farmers, they don't really they talk about the coyotes as pests. They're more like adversaries, like rivals, right? like enemies. So they do recognize the level of intelligence these animals have. Again, they're very opportunistic. Coyote, unlike other animals, like let's say the jaguar would prefer a certain type of food. You can have a more or less understanding of what the jaguar goes for. Jaguar's main food in the country is armadillos, but coyotes, they will eat what they need to eat. They will eat what's available to them, no?
So they would eat one on their own?
No. So they won't be cannibalistic, but again, rat, bird, quash, armadillo, anything were available to them really.
So I tell Khalid, listen, just like how we have a brother Jamal Galvez, known as the Marathi man, I feel like Khalid ought to be the coyote man. So what it is that most Belizeans don't know about the coyote, especially the farmers, what kind of awareness you have, especially with farmers, for try change the attitude or the belief system about the engagement with the coyote? Because I could totally understand why then I look upon as enemy, because then they create havoc upon a farm. So the one to for raise awareness, especially with Belizean farmers.
Well, the first thing is like before any NGOs are involved, the farmers are very aware of the animals. It might not be the general public of Belize might not be aware of coyotes, but farmers are. A lot of the NGOs and partners we have in the country are already doing a lot of work. The Maya Forest Trust, for example, they work very hand in hand with the farmers in their communities to try to teach them how to create mitigation strategies to instead of getting rid of the animal to just try your best to keep the animals away, because mitigation is always best long term. YaYa is doing work to help mitigate the coyotes, and a slew of other NGOs are doing their best to help the farmers to keep the coyotes away, right? They are very intelligent animals. They do find their way into farms in very unique ways as opposed to, let's say, a jaguar. If you have a high enough fence, you can keep a jaguar out. But a coyote will climb the fence, a coyote will dig under the fence. People will tell you the coyote will jump through the fence, right? So awareness in the country is being done. Again, I wouldn't say it's a new issue, but it's an issue that's become at the forefront of, it's become an issue that's at the forefront currently. So a lot of strategies are being developed. Every situation is different. In Belize, it's being tackled differently. In America, in the United States, of course, it's you've probably seen videos of coyotes in the States. That's what probably people know them for. But of course, the way they deal with their coyotes and the way we deal with our coyotes will be completely different, especially with the terrain and environment we have. So work is being done and it's being developed.
Do we have a population count on them? Like how much are they about? For say then the increase over a period of time?
We don't have an exact population estimate for coyotes in the country, but there is anecdotal evidence of their distribution. Like I said, in 1998, it was just in northern Belize. That was on one farm where a coyote was captured. But since then, they've been seen as far as dense forests like the Chiquibo. They've been seen in the Chiquibo, which is dense forest, which they wouldn't typically be in. towards all the way down south, like I said, in Yakshe, those areas, San Antonio, all the way down in those areas, coyotes have been seen. So they are practically in every area of the country currently.
Is it that they're having more young ones, or are they crossing the border? Why the population increase?
All right, so the population is probably increasing because they have food. Again, they aren't starving. Wherever there is food, there will be animals, right? If there's food that's able to keep the population going. Like I mentioned, they thrive in very open areas. So again, it's a good thing that we are increasing the agriculture in the country. We're being able to provide food for the nation, but at the same time, it creates an opportunity. It creates a new depth to what we have to deal with, right? Coyotes strive in those open areas, those plains, those, especially during the time when they recycle the crop, when they might cut the crop, that will probably be when you'll see the most coyotes. They really like the open space, right? It's easy for them to hunt and exist in those kinds of areas. So the more that happens, the better environment it creates for them, the higher the population will increase for coyotes.
Make I open the phone line if anybody want to call and ask you something about coyote, the Belize. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Okay. If anybody want to call, the number at 280-5848. We have with us Belizean youth Khalid Usher, who is the wildlife officer at the Belize Zoo and a power lifter. And we're going to talk about coyote right now. What hunt the coyote? Who want the coyote than a friend?
Well, in historically speaking, and again, this is observation also by farmers, right? So I can say one thing, but at the same time, you have to understand that the local people that are on the ground are also noticing the same thing. So, and not just the talk for talk, right? They've noticed that, yes, jaguars can be a problem, but jaguars can coexist if they're healthy. A healthy jaguar won't attack cattle. A healthy jaguar won't come into human spaces. So if you have a healthy jaguar around your property, it'll keep out the coyotes because the jaguars kill the coyotes, right? The same thing goes for animals like the puma, right? If you have these large cats around, a healthy large cat will keep out the coyotes. But at the same time, the jaguar and the puma, they thrive in more forested environment, right? Puma can adapt to more sparse environment, but the main thing we have here in the country is the jaguar. Denser forests, healthier jaguar population, but once you take that away, you create space for the coyote, right? So if you have that area around, if you can say you have a one or two healthy jaguar population in the area, it's likely you'll see less coyotes. If you don't have jaguars in the area, you'll see more coyotes.
So you say a number of people must look upon the coyote and think they're in a pot liquor, because well, they kind of look alike. So another thing that, and I really appreciate the images that we were sending. What part I take them picture? What part of camera set for make me get the images there?
So the pictures I've taken again, they're just around the Maya Forest corridor, right? That's central Belize, around the Mahogany Heights, the Democracy area. Those might be see like, oh, you have that, they're everywhere, right? So it doesn't really matter where you are in the country. If there is an open space that has maybe little human presence in the area, it's likely there are coyotes there.
You get the zoo get a call recently about a coyote, the Barawa farmer. Is that one of the conflict mediation we had to do recently?
Not directly recently. The coyote, again, farmers deal with it. They try to deal with it on their own, coyotes specifically, because of their perception.
So then they kill it?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Diplomacy. They try to deal with it directly.
but it's true. The farmers, again, one of the main things you have to recognize is that you want your animals to survive the day. They might not necessarily, especially when they're on their own, farmers might not necessarily be thinking 2 years, 10 years down the line. They want their animals to survive the night, right? So you have to take into consideration their feelings and what they have to go through, because again, the farmers are the people that have to live with these animals 24/7.
So, what do advise farmers for though? I mean, if you, I mean, and then I don't know if we got enough coyote that, you know, the farmers are going to kill a couple of them and we are still have the coyote population under control. And I really feel that important for more Belizeans beyond farmers who live with their reality know about coyote, because like I said before January 1st, I never even know coyote in a Belize, but maybe more Belizeans know about coyote than me, but I never know them that I Belize. So what important for Belizeans know about coyote in particular, and then how you know if that coyote they want patlika for you?
I think what farmers or people specific or people in general need to understand is the coyote isn't a simple animal. That's intelligent wise, genetic wise, and one of the things you have to recognize about them is that, especially if they're in a pack, there's only one, the matriarch coyote is the only one that's able to give birth, right? But let's say,
wait. I mean, the only one who can give birth. You have other female in the pack too?
yeah, but the matriarch is the one that gives birth. That's the way they socialize,
Wait.
right? So they have
So you tell me
one
all
box.
the other female coyote no have young ones?
No, as long if they're in a pack, there's only one coyote that gives birth, and that's the matriarch. But if the matriarch is killed, then that pack disperses, and then all those females that was in the pack, they become their own matriarchs. So a lot of the times, like I mentioned, farmers just want the livestock to survive the night, but unknowingly they might be they might be increasing the population by dispersing a pack of coyotes, right? So you get rid of one problem, but you create five. So again, one of the things people need to understand, it's not a simple solution. It's a very complex situation we're dealing with coyotes. It takes a lot of education to be educated about how the coyotes operate, and you have to really you have to develop mitigation strategies. It's not as simple as just getting rid of one of them, because the reality is that we're living with them now.
And you could differentiate them from just looking at them to say if one are a male or one are a female, one bigger, one smaller, they have different color. You could differentiate male and female just from looking at them?
And again, that's one of the complicated and complex things about it. You can't tell. You can't tell which coyote is which. And again, they're very intelligent animals. They will tend to send one out before the rest come, right? So you have a scout. And the scout could be the matriarch, the scout could be any member of the pack, right? So it's a very complicated situation. That's why the best solution is mitigation. If you can keep them out, then that's the best way to deal with them.
This is what I find so fascinating, right? Khalid, now good storytellers and I could hear. And I just like how he talk about it like that is a matter of fact, that is one way of life. But for farmers, this is a real problem.
Yeah, it's a real issue.
Right. So since we can't tell them, they hunt that day or night?
Both. Day and night.
They are opportunistic, like you said, true.
Very opportunistic animals.
How long it take for them to have young ones? And they usually have like more than one at a time?
Yeah, so again, that's one of the other crazy things about them. Like I mentioned, the dispersal of the pack. One of the things that is recorded in research in the States is that once the population starts to fall, or the coyote has almost like a genetic signal, like if it feels threatened, that it'll go from litters of 8 pups to litters of about 14, 16 pups, right? So it's almost like a genetic defensive strategy where it's like it feels threatened, so it starts to give birth to more coyotes. So again, it's very, very complicated dealing with them.
No, I don't know if they got coyote specialists.
Yeah, yes. We actually have partners for the zoo that are coyote specialists and people that are, again, Belize is very lucky to have its forest so much intact that it does attract a lot of like people interested in doing research in the country. So there are coyote specialists we can reach out to.
Anything new in evolving research about coyote what I know today, when maybe they never know like 5 years ago? You know, maybe they do one practice what they think that good, but then like, nah, turn out that not good, or turn out that real good. We need to do more of that as a mitigating factor. Any, as far as you know, any current evolving, developing research on coyote?
Well, that's to be seen. Again, like I mentioned, the situation in Belize might be completely different from the situation they have in the States. We don't really understand coyotes that much in the country as yet, as far as pen to paper research. So that's something that needs to be developed. We might find out that the coyotes in the country operate in a completely different way. One of the things that's of interest is that the coyotes here have to deal with savanna. In the States, it's like plains, right? And they also do, coyotes make dens. So I'm not sure, we're not really sure how the coyotes are making their dens in the country. It's open savanna. I've seen them in the savanna running around, but as far as where they're sleeping, where they're having their pups, we're not sure. So that's something that can be developed, that can be researched in the country.
Any other country have one similar environment like Belize and have coyotes?
Similar to Belize, yes, but just the total landscape of the country is pretty unique in that case. Because like I mentioned, they do exist from Canada all the way down to Panama, but the southernmost countries in Central America is a lot more, they've cleared a lot more land than us, right? Belize is very lucky to still have a lot of its forests, so it does create a really unique scenario for us dealing with the coyotes.
Are there different species of coyote?
It's only one species of coyote. It's Canis latrans. But one of the things that's very, I wouldn't say it's very interesting, is that they also can breed with domestic dogs.
Hi, yeah, Khalid. Every time I think you can't tell me something else about this animal, I make I go, what? You tell me something else. No one of people thinks that a dog like the coyote, they look like Patlika. I don't know what to go on that.
Well, again, this I guess is also anecdotal. What we've heard from researchers with coyotes, they can interbreed with domestic dogs, and they tend to prefer, because again, they're intelligent animals. They can see the similarities, so they tend to go for dogs that look like them, right? And they can breed with them. Whether or not this is a factor in the country, again, that's also something that can be researched. Is a space for it. There's a research gap in the country.
So you've had at least one or two, or has been documented at least one or two times anecdotally, that one farmer or farmers that believe say, watch, I think one coyote get it my dog?
No, right. So it happens in the States where the coyote population it's a lot more research in the States, right? In Mexico and the States, it has been documented. But again, that is something that is a possibility for us in the country, especially if you go into any village, if you go into any farm, there are dogs just running around, right? So it's something that could be happening in the country, but it is a research gap.
Okay, good. Anything that way I never asked you before we take the next break, what you think is important for people know, like what phone number they could call if they suspect they have a coyote issue in their community, or if they don't want you to come in at their school, or if they want you on the media, or if they got to a scholarship for half of you for the further research on coyote. How could people contact you? Because it's absolutely important that more people know about the work that you do on behalf of Belizeans, because the more we know, the better we able to make different choices. Not only the farmers, but the rest of Belizeans as well. And then what is your hope, after you give it the phone number, people could contact you, what is your hope for yourself in the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years? One of the things when you tell me I was just really hot, get warm, nephew, is when you're like, I had to contribute to no brain drain. I had to stay, yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't hear a lot of young people will have some formal education say that.
Well, just starting off with the contacts. I'd really advise farmers, community members, people that do have conflict with these animals to get in contact with your local NGO. We do have several partners in the country that are doing excellent work, helping with the mitigation strategies. I know in the Kyle area, there's the Maya Forest Trust that's around. They're situated in around the Spanish lookout community. Those areas, you can reach out to them. There's Yakshe down south. There's CSFI, that's Corozal, that's up north, and a lot of NGOs in between. But the Belize Zoo here, we mainly deal with communities in central Belize. So if you're in the River Valley area, if you're in around Gales Point, if you're around Mullins River, Hope Creek, those areas, like, you can reach out to the Belize Zoo, and we can assist you with the issue, right? So you can contact the Belize Zoo at 613-4966. That's our front desk. And just explain the situation with them and give them the information, and they can pass it on so we can deal with it.
You said 613-4966?
Yes, yeah.
613-4966. And then what are your future as it relates to why you so convicted that you not left Belize?
Well, again, there's too much to do in the country. I don't think there's any reason to try and go and research anywhere else. There's a lot developing here, and there's a lot of work to do here. So it doesn't make any sense to go anywhere else, right? You can see my Belize flag there right there. I just stay home.
You give your family a good name. Again, this morning we had, and I'm so proud of your nephew. You did, of course. I was just, I don't get to meet, I meet young people from different walks of life. But there's certainly young people who really get me excited. Like you say how Tuesday we had on a youth from the National Student Union of Belize. And the lead sister Ashley get me really excited. She get me excited as a young activist because when I see that interview where I gave another media host as it relates to the land that was designated for UB students, medical school, and she not pull no punches. She call names, she hold people accountable, and I have a lot of activists, so she get me excited. And then I meet Khalid, and I meet another sister when I meet Khalid. And I just listening to them as young Belizeans, how, just confident, knowledgeable, curious, excited about life. And that have a lot to do, like Khalid say, about the family that raised him. Big respect, Karen and Miguel and Jamila. Big respect to, and the extended family were raised her. And especially as a black youth, I mean, Khalil big in body, but how he carries himself, how just observing, and I tell her to face it all like the first time I hear I said this. I really applaud young people when I see them do meaningful work, when they care about other people, when they're passionate about Belize. And so you give me a good name, Khalid Usher, would look forward to hearing more from you. And anytime you have new information, different information, Zinc friends for sure, welcome to a platform. Just reach out to it. Anything else I want to tell you before you go?
No, mom. We're good.
All right then, Khalid. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for the time. Break time.
Thank you, too.
In Belize, we
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I am so excited about that interview. I tell you, young people are the bestest. And so the phone number is 280-5848. I'm waiting for Nigel Martinez, the Belize Federation of Fishers Director. Morning, talk to me.
Back again, YaYa, with this figure that the gentleman gave you, was it 937?
I got 913 and he said they need 36.
913.
That's what I got, yes.
Well, a friend of mine, hearing about the discussion, typed in a search on Google, on the Google search platform, and he got the first search string he typed in was school children crossing Guatemalan border. He didn't even need to put in Belize because Google is also, Belize has a special place for Belize on this platform. And the figure that came back from, the answer that came back was entitled AI Overview. Notice, AI Overview. So I asked him how long they've been doing that. He said, about a year, it's not a year, because you, some time ago, just recently this year, we had to do some research, not this year, last year, and no AI was mentioned.
What did he say when you asked him that question?
Pardon?
What was his response when you asked him that question? Because I think I noticed it.
He said things about a year, but I told him it's not a year because we were working on something about the spring, about April thereabouts.
I would say in the past 8 months is when I start seeing it. Whenever I put in a Google search, the first response is an AI response. For everything that I Google search, I would say within the past 8 months that started happening.
Yeah, that happened in the last year, exactly. Okay, so they gave 800 children, but that gentleman was able to give a more exact figure, so I'm going to round it out at 900 children, right? Then my friend ran another search string. He typed in tuition costs at Belize Elementary School, and an AI overview came up again, response, and it stated that it gave a general introduction about primary education in Belize. Notice the language was actually tailored to Belize because that's the British usage. In American usage, it would be elementary. And it went on to say that the tuition costs range from $1,000 to $5,000 a year. So I'm going to average that. 1,000 plus 5,000, 6,000 divided by 2, that's 3,000 averaged out per year for private education. So multiply 300, because the private education are charging what it really should be if you want to provide a quality education. And as far as I know, private primary schools in this country, elementary schools, are not government subsidized. They sort of have to fundraise. They still have to do fundraising. So on top of the tuition, they fundraise. So it averages out to $3,000 a year to give you a quality education. That's an average quality education. I'm using the 1,000 plus. Multiply that by 900 students, YaYa.
The 3,000? Multiply what by 900? The 3,000?
3,000 by 900.
That can't right. 2,700,000?
Exactly. $2,700,000 a year. But remember, that's only the tuition the children are paying. No child pays in an entire year, those children won't pay for the cost of the building. Because to house 900 children, you need imagine them in a building, YaYa. The school population. So let us say from kindergarten right up to standard 6, that is 9 sections. And 9 sections, that would be 270 children if you had one class per number. But let us say you have 2 classes per number. That is 9 times 270, that's 540 children. So that would be, that would be one school. And that's not all the schools, because some schools are crammed. So using 30 children per classroom, that's the figure I'm using. I don't teach 30 children. That is incorrect in this age to teach 30 children per classroom, because it's crammed and you can't give individualized attention. And in this age, education, to give the optimum education, you need a smaller class size in order to be able to distribute the attention of the teacher evenly. But we'll use the 30, which they like to do, cram 30 children into a classroom. If you're cramming them in, you're still going to need 2 schools to do that at the rate of 2 classes per number. So in the Martin 2, standard 6 2, standard 5 2, some schools have more, some schools only have 1. What is that? Yeah. No, that is you say you have to provide a school, you have to provide desks, you have to provide chairs. Are these children providing their own desks and chairs?
As I need fun too.
You have to provide a bathroom, you have to provide all the units in the bathroom.
And I tell us somebody
provide chalkboard or whiteboard.
I mean, say somebody need fun too.
What you said, huh?
Fun. Somebody need fun too.
Exactly. So now, what the children are paying, 2,700, does not reflect the cost of the installation, the production of the installation to house the students. That will be paid over a period of time. And remember, you have deterioration, so you constantly have to be repairing and all that. Then you have electricity, water costs, all of that. But the capitalization, where is that coming from, YaYa? And this is to show you why, remember I just said, to deal with AI, you need to be able to evaluate your information.
Yes.
The AI search, the Google search gave 800 as an AI overview. The gentleman gave 913, a more exact number. So I'm going with 900 to meet his number, because that sounds to me more realistic, because it's an exact number. Well,
Sister Sandra, that break time again though.
Yes,
I might have to.
I'm just calling YaYa to point out.
Yes.
I'm grateful to him. My friend, I'm grateful to him for going. This is a serious matter, Belizeans.
Yes,
you all have to make up your mind. If when you go into the program, the polling station, you go there to vote to spend, and on top of that, YaYa, our teachers have to subsidize their classrooms, so our teachers are subsidizing 900 children from across the neighboring countries. These are not migrant children. These are transient migratory children who cross over each day. This is not the children of migrant workers who we have to deal with. And these are a whole different kettle of fish.
Right.
Listen to me.
Thanks, sis.
I am glad the conversation has started.
Thank you.
And I forgot to tell you, Guatemala has already been paid, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because this has been, Mr. Fonseca said it has been going on, government after government. Man, but you all are elected to correct the things that the previous governments have done that are wrong. You are not elected to continue the wrongdoing. You're right.
All right. Thanks, Sister Sandra. Break time.
When you bank your way, it's amazing how much
Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We have Nigel Martinez, Belize Federation of Fishers Director, on the line. Yeah, about 5 minutes. Nigel, why people should join the Belize Blue Bond Zoom community meeting this Saturday from 10 to 11 being broadcasted on XTV?
So, morning, sis. Morning, Belize. We are doing a deep dive into the Blue Bond arrangement come Saturday. And it's very important for people to participate and understand, especially our fisher folks, our fishing community, because the Blue Bond is what is impacting our livelihood and our well-being. And if you are aware, you'll know that only the economic and ecological side of the pillar of sustainability is being dealt with and not the social component. But we're going to focus significantly on the bag of money that this Blue Bond is receiving and being distributing and not benefiting our fisher folks. And the same type of reasoning that Sister Sandra brought out just now in reference to the amount of money that we are spending on educating people from our neighboring country. It's the same type of reasoning that we're going to be having on Saturday. And in reality, if you look on it, the same situation that is happening in the educational sector, in the tourism sector, in the fishing sector, it's across the board. We have the same issue whereby we have fishers from neighboring countries come fishing in our water, and our own people are being neglected. So I know we don't have a lot of time, sis. I'm going to try to get in tomorrow morning to remind our fisher folks, our fishing community, that this weekend, this Saturday, we are doing a deep dive into the Blue Bond. We are bringing out some serious information where the government failed to advise the people. And we are reasoning with everybody so we get a full understanding of how this Blue Bond impact the livelihood and well-being of our fisher folks and our fishing community and the country of Belize.
Big thanks, Naj. I look forward for the call on morning.
Bless.
One love. Belizean people, we can't stress enough, especially fishers. We have over 3,000 fishers that Belize. On a need to join this Zoom conversation Saturday, January 18th from 10 to 11 o'clock. 1 hour go by quick. UEF has been doing this work at least since 2021. We have to give thanks to our colleagues at the University of Antwerp, to the Belize Federation of Fishers, to fisher folks in Belize who communicate with the Belize Federation of Fishers. This past summer, two of our colleagues from the University of Antwerp and myself, gone to Chinook, Sarteneja, Kapabank, first time gone in place, and gone down south, talk to fisher folks, and here ask them what you know about the Blue Bond, and what then they say, and what the narrative or the text that the government of Belize, TNC, all them people want to get awards, very different from what the people they say on the ground. And there are a bunch of unanswered questions that ought to be answered. But we are just talking tomorrow. Do we have any more breaks? Yes, no? Oh, no more break. All right, so I got right now, it's 8:57, so I have enough time for thank everybody. Like this morning, me rich. I really value when people call in, when people share information. Like Hora Kala called in and said there were 913 students coming from Melchor to come to Belize, and then Sister Sandra pick up on Bill Panda. The brother will do the research with Sister Sandra for sure. AI very active right now. When you do searches in our search engines, I have to thank Kim Grab and Go and Keller for I love when my brother deliver my food for me. I really like the community love. Entire work WB, trust and believe. Kim Grab and Go want to feed me, and I just love it, love it, love it. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Keller. Definitely want to thank the security guard. So we have, right now we have Shane Flowers, but who that be the security guard? That be Lloyd Lewis, that be the security guard when we come in, Cliff? It may have been Lloyd Lewis, who was the security guard when we came in before 7 o'clock this morning. Here at XTV, the MCO was Alexi Belisle, or is Alexi Belisle. I'm downstairs on the second floor for Creme Radio. The engineer is Larry G. This show will repeat at 3:30 today. Oh, I keep forget for telling you. Belize Diabetes Association have one walking challenge. Forget Belizeans moving. We need to be healthier with our sick society, mind, body, spirit, sick. Only the people and save the people, so we have to save ourselves first. So the challenge run from January 2nd to I think April 16th, I think. April 18th, 19th, 20, the Good Friday, Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday. So that forget we're moving and hope that beyond this, it become one way of life. Just walking make one big difference. So the challenge is to make 1 million steps between January 2nd and April 16th. And being encouraged to walk 10 to 12,000 steps a day, which is about 5 to 6 miles. We have hundreds of Belizeans on the app. Everybody where I had to meet, I had to tell about the app. I'm older, I've gained weight, I'm not exercise, but people who grew up in the 70s know we don't walk about people, we don't puppy foot people. Like walking, and I don't want exercise, I just, that's for we transportation. And so I'm encouraging Belizeans to, the Belize Diabetes Association have the, if you go to the Facebook page, they have all the information we need. I'd encourage for please. What matter is that you start to move. Once you sign up, you could go run, go catch the lavan, you could go to a shop, you could walk around in your own house. No, I agree, because I don't usually have phone for me when I walk. I concerned about the radiation, but I say I have the phone in my hand to do research a lot of times anyways. I'm not to justify that, just to be real. And so just for this time, I'd make the exception. I have the phone for me. So I'd encourage Belizean to join the Belize Diabetes Association Walking Challenge, 1 million steps from January 2nd to April 16th. That brings us to the end of this morning show. They are from 6:30 this morning. We want to thank our guest, Khalid Usher from the Belize Zoo, who is the wildlife officer and a Belizean powerlifter. We want to thank all the callers with Colleen. We talk about price gouging. Remember to report suspected violation. The number is 607-4686. 607-4686. Oh, I know the rule, right? 999. Only the people and save the people.
Everybody gotta put the time in. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that we feel happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count.